Hello, I'm Claire Smith, welcome to my channel. So today I'm doing another perfume tag. I feel like it's perfume tag season right now. I seem to have been tagged a lot over the last month and I've done a lot of tags over the last month. So this one is called the Perfume Extremes tag and it was created by Veronica Says and also Jack's Beautiful You here on YouTube. And basically they have a number of categories and they ask you to pick one fragrance from your collection for each of these categories. And, you know, it's me, I'm a bit indecisive, so I might not pick one, I might pick a couple, but, you know, I'll try and pick one. And yeah, I'd just like to thank Jack's Beautiful You for tagging me. I only discovered her channel very recently, actually, and I've been really enjoying it, so thank you very much, Jax. And also, if you've not seen me before, I'm Claire Smith, and I make videos all about perfume and perfume science, so please do consider subscribing if you haven't done already. And also, please like this video if you do like this video. And also, if you're coming back, then thank you so much. I see the same people in my comments week after week, and it's just so reassuring to see you all and to hear what you think about my videos. I just really love it, so thank you so much. So let's get on with the first question. So the first question is, which has been your best blind buy of 2022 so far? I could pick a few for this because I have had some really good blind buys, and I think I'm just going to go with the one that I'm reaching for most at the moment, and that would be Heliotrope by Reminiscence from the Les Notes Gourmandes line. This is just a really delicious kind of cakey fragrance, basically. It reminds me of marzipan. It's got a really kind of nice figgy green opening, but then it turns into sort of just an almondy, powdery, vanilla kind of fragrance. Slightly spiced, does make me think of cakes, basically, like carrot cakes, and also the bottle just makes me think of Alice in Wonderland, and the fragrance itself also makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. It's a very kind of Easter kind of time of year smelling fragrance. It's the kind of fragrance that you want to go on an Easter egg hunt wearing. It's a very whimsical fragrance as well, and I think that's what I really enjoy about it. So that's definitely my best blind buy this year. I'm really thinking about buying the Guimauve, the pink one, from this line as well. So yeah, best blind buy, Heliotrope. Question number 2 is, what was your worst blind buy so far of 2022? I've had a couple of really bad blind buys. The first one was Valentino Donna, but really the one that really takes the biscuit this year, I think, is probably Scent of a Dream by Charlotte Tilbury. I absolutely hated that fragrance, and I don't know what it was about it really. I don't know whether it's because it's laden with aroma chemicals, so it's got ISOE super in it, it's got ambroxan in it, but it just made me think of coal tar soap. Just that was the only thing that really stands out about that fragrance to me. And for something from Charlotte Tilbury, I was just expecting something very sort of, I don't know, very girly, very sexy. I was expecting like 60s Sex Kitten kind of fragrance, and that really wasn't what I got. I got sort of something that's a little bit hippie, maybe a little bit, you know, like got that sort of 70s patchouli thing going on. And yeah, from what I've seen, I don't think many people like Scent of a Dream, but it does seem to have a hardcore kind of fan base. I think if you do like that kind of fragrance, it is very, very distinctive. It's just not one for me. So yeah, Scent of a Dream was my worst blind buy by quite a margin. The third question is, which is your favourite fragrance of all time? I mean, no pressure at all there, really, is there? So I'm going to pick a couple because there are different sides to my personality, and I think I like different things at different times and different moods and different seasons. So I think the two I probably come back to most are these two, and that is Glossier You. So this is a woody, kind of powdery musk, very much sort of, you know, a blank canvas kind of fragrance. This is something that's very everyday, something that's just very me, you know, slubbing around on a sofa in a jumper, watching something on Netflix. It's a very relaxed kind of fragrance. So yeah, choose Glossier You. But I'm not just going to stick with Glossier You because I feel like that's a very blank canvas kind of fragrance. And you don't always want to be a blank canvas, do you? You want to sort of stand out sometimes. So the one I'm going to choose for the one that I would wear to go out is going to be Guerlain's La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. So this fragrance, just the more I wear it, the more I enjoy it. And I think that is really what a favourite fragrance is, isn't it? It's one you're never tired of, and this one I'm never tired of. So yeah, I think everybody knows this by now, but it's like leathery, rosy, cherry, musky kind of fragrance with some licorice, as you know, as the La Petite Robe Noire line does have. And I just love licorice, leather and rose, and cherry actually. They're just some of my favourite notes. So this one is always going to be a winner. So yeah, La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. The next question is, what would you choose as your signature scent if you had one? And I think, people on YouTube, they don't have signature scents, do they? Because you just wouldn't be on YouTube if you weren't wearing lots of different perfumes every other day. It just wouldn't be a thing. But I think if I had to choose one, I'm going to go down the line of what did I wear most in my life? Which was my signature fragrance for the longest period of time in my life? And that one would be Black Opium by YSL. I know loads of people hate this fragrance now. I know it's been everywhere. It's sort of a victim of its own success. But this one truly was the one that I wore the most in my life. It's the only fragrance really that I've had multiple bottles of. It's the only one that I just look at the bottle and I think of joy. I just think of passing my Viva in my PhD, and I think of all the times going out during my PhD and having fun. And yeah, this one just has good memories for me. So I think we all know how Black Opium smells. So that's Black Opium by YSL. So the next question is, which fragrance would you get married in? Well, I'm already married, so this has happened, isn't it? I've already chosen a fragrance. And the fragrance that I chose is actually not an unexpected choice. It's a bit off the beaten path. And considering I got married in the spring, it really is quite an odd choice. And the reason I chose this one is because I wanted to feel like me. And I didn't want to kowtow to all those kind of traditional beliefs and things that you're expected to do at a wedding. We had quite an alternative wedding, and I just wanted to rebel in my fragrance choice as well. So the one that I chose is actually a leathery saffron fragrance, and it's Sardonic Spire by Under the Story. So this fragrance, leathery saffron patchouli with a bit of amber and rose. It's got that cool spiciness that I really, really like in fragrances. And actually, having owned this one for a little bit now, I've realised the similarity with another fragrance that I tried only a few months ago. And that fragrance was Scherzo by Miller Harris. So Scherzo is about 6 times, maybe more times the price of this fragrance. They're not the same, but they definitely have a vibe. And I'd say out of the two, I much prefer the Under the Stories. The Under the Stories fragrance is much smoother than Scherzo. So yeah, if you have been looking at Scherzo, you might want to try this one if you go in store in Under the Stories first before you buy this one. So the next question is, which fragrance would you wear on date night? Well, I have to say my husband is really not fussed by fragrance generally, and he rarely remarks on what I'm wearing other than negative things basically. So he usually says how much he doesn't like it, usually if it's got patchouli in it. But the fragrance that he actually remarked positively on was this one. So this is Scandal by Night. And this fragrance is a super sweet cherry sticky fragrance. It really does smell like you've got the glacé cherries, dripping with the syrup. You've got that good quality farmhouse honey, runny honey, and then you've got that really nice smooth tuberose just giving it a bit of oomph in the background. It's just a very intoxicating fragrance. It's a very obvious fragrance as well. You are not being coy if you're wearing Scandal by Night. It's very in your face. Come get me. Here I am. And yes, Scandal by Night would be my day night fragrance. So the next question is, which is your most hated fragrance? Well, I think the one that really stands out for me is one that my stepmother wears. It's her signature fragrance, and I really like my stepmother, and please don't get me wrong, but her fragrance is something else. So if we're going out or something and she gets in the car with us, you just get this massive cloud because she's usually just sprayed this fragrance on. And the fragrance in question is Estee Lauder's Youth Dew. So Youth Dew is a fragrance that came out in 1953. It's an old school fragrance, but it's just so strong. And you get like this cloud of spicy, clovey amberiness. It's just very, very intense. It's quite resinous, that fragrance. And it's quite cloying. It just takes over. It's something that, just literally fills the car, and it's something that makes me want to open the windows. It's so strong. And if you've not smelt it, then if you have smelt something like YSL's Opium, then you will know that kind of smell, because I think those two fragrances are compared. I feel like Opium is said to have been based on Youth Dew. So yeah, that's probably my most hated fragrance. Out of the ones that I've actually owned in my collection, I'd say the the one that I've hated the most would be Vintage Muse by Kate Moss. So that fragrance, there was something about it that just made me gag. If I sprayed it, that was the instant reaction I had, and I think that that was probably because of the slightly dirty musk in that fragrance, and also the combination of the florals in that fragrance. So there was a fuzzy violet note, and there was also orchid, but there was also a plum note, and I think that powdery plum with those florals was just too much for me. It just turned my stomach, and it's one that I just had to declutter. I just could not stand it being anywhere near me. So yeah, Vintage Muse by Kate Moss is the one that I've actually owned that I dislike the most. The next question is, which is your most hated perfume bottle? Well, you know, I've got some great examples in my collection, and actually I've decluttered a few absolutely fabulous examples. I'll put them up on the screen. But the ones that are left that I have that I really don't like are Love Struck by Vera Wang. So I think the thing that I find offensive about this is this stupid kind of dust collector top. But actually, you know, if the bottle itself is absolutely fine, that's fine. It's just this thing. The other one that stands out in my collection is something that I don't particularly like, is Moschino's Toy 2. So this fragrance, yeah, it's just the head, isn't it? If you take the head off, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, who wants a headless teddy? No one. So yeah, it's just that the head's out of proportion with the body, I think. I think that's what gets me about this fragrance. But yeah, it's kind of cute in a way, but also just a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to display this. If somebody important came to my house, I'd probably hide it. So the next question is, which is your favourite perfume bottle in your collection? Well, I think if you watch my channel, you'll probably already know the answer. Well, it's Nirvana Amethyst, because look, you know, if you want to take this fragrance out, that's going to fit in your handbag. That is a practical bottle. It doesn't take up a lot of room on your dressing table. It doesn't clank against other bottles because it's not a weird shape. It's not shaped like a teddy bear. It's just a perfect fragrance bottle. So that's Nirvana Amethyst by Elizabeth and James. Question 10 is, which is the most expensive fragrance in your collection that you paid for? Because, you know, some people get PR. I don't ever get PR. But I do get gifts from people. So yeah, the one that I actually paid for, I'm going to go with the one that's the most expensive per mil, because that's how I really grade fragrance in a way. Although ultimately some fragrance houses are a bit annoying, aren't they? And they just make their fragrances in one size, which is just so frustrating, because you don't want to be forced to buy 100 mil when you collect fragrances. It's just not on, is it? So the one that I think is the most expensive per mil is Floris A Rose 4. And Floris is just quite an expensive brand anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to try a Floris fragrance. You know, they do these little 15ml bottles, so it is quite affordable in a way to try them. So yeah, Floris A Rose 4 is my most expensive per mil. The next question is, which is your least expensive fragrance? Well, I think the one that I paid the least for is Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. So I had no intention of buying this fragrance, but I just saw it so cheaply that I felt like I had to buy it, because I did actually prefer it infinitely when I did a comparison between Narciso Rodriguez for her EDP and this one. And whilst I didn't love it, I did think it was quite a nice fragrance. So this fragrance, I think I ended up paying, I think it was 1p for this fragrance bottle plus postage, but the postage they charged wasn't even the right postage. So it was something like £2.50 or something for 100 ml. It was ridiculously cheap. It was something that you can't really say no to. So yeah, that's how I ended up with a bottle of Lovely. The next question is, which is your most complimented fragrance? Well, I have problems with the most complimented category, because on YouTube, I swear people make it up. You know, there's most complimented videos where they say, oh yeah, 7 people commented on my fragrance this week. Like, no, they didn't. Like, come on. I don't know, they can't be British. Let's face it, they can't be British. So the one that I think is my most complimented, and I think actually there are several reasons why it's the most complimented, and then probably not that much to do with the fragrance, is Because It's You by Emporio Armani. So I think this one's my most complimented because I've had more than one bottle of this fragrance. That means that I've worn it quite a lot. I've also worn it to work quite a lot, and that means I'm around other people more being at work. It's also quite a sweet fragrance, and I feel like most people enjoy sweet fragrances more than other categories of fragrance. It's also quite a strong fragrance, so people can smell this on me. It's not a skin scent. And also I just feel like it's quite a mainstream fragrance. It's something that is quite a friendly fragrance. It's not challenging in any way. So I think that's why it's my most complimented. But I wouldn't say that means it's a brilliant perfume. I wouldn't say that means that it's better than any other fragrance in my collection. I just think it fulfills and ticks all those boxes that means that it's most complimented. So that's Emporio Armani, Because It's You. The next question is, what is your most nostalgic fragrance? Well, the one that I feel a lot of nostalgia for, and it's actually been discontinued now, so I know its days are numbered in my collection because this is all I have left, is Lola by Marc Jacobs. So this is a fragrance that my husband bought me when we were still dating. And it's something that was really special to me because this was actually quite a lot of money for him to spend on me. And it's something that I really appreciated. It's something that, you know, at the time I only had one other fragrance. So this was super, super special when he bought this for me. So this is a pink pepper and rose fragrance. And really that's what I liked at that point in my life. That was really what I was into. And yeah, I still do wear this one, but I do wear it sparingly because I know that when this bottle's gone and I've got this much left, that will be it, because you just can't get this fragrance anymore, at least in the UK. So yeah, Marc Jacobs Lola is my most nostalgic fragrance. So the final question is, which is the offensive fragrance in your collection that you just wear anyway? I don't really feel like I have anything way too offensive. I don't really feel like I'm an obnoxious perfume kind of person, really. But I think the one that I think is way too strong and I struggle to find an occasion to wear is Lattafa Sheikh Al Shuk. So this fragrance I last wore when we were going out for an Indian meal. We were going out for a really spicy curry, and I thought, right, this is the time to wear this fragrance because this fragrance can stand up for a curry. This fragrance will actually punch a curry in the mouth and have it on the floor. This fragrance will knock people out. And the reason I know that this fragrance is super strong is because I took it to work once and you could literally smell it down the corridor. I could smell it on other people at 20 meters away. That's how strong this fragrance is. And this is one that I actually have considered decluttering, but every time I rewear it, I think, oh, that's so lovely. There's something about this fragrance it's kind of got like a powdery rose thing in the dry down, and the dry down is just gorgeous. But really, the beginning is all about the cinnamon and the, I don't know what it is, like it's supposed to be oud, but clearly for a fragrance that's like 10 quid, it's not going to be oud, is it? It's going to be some aroma chemicals making up an oud. But yeah, there's something about this fragrance that makes me keep it, but I'm not quite sure what it is or why I keep it, because it's just nuclear. This fragrance, you know, if you want to be smart on Mars, wear this one. This is really that strong. So that's Sheikh Al Shuk by Lattafa. So that's the final fragrance in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to tag a few other creators to do this video to keep the tag going. So I'm going to tag one of my best friends, Frances from Happiness Sparkles. She's always in my comments. She's always here and she's really supportive. She's a lovely person to go and chat to. If you've got a new channel, please go and make friends with Frances because she's so supportive and she's such a lovely person. So yeah, Frances from Happiness Sparkles, you're tagged. Also, Perfume and Beauty, Amelia, I want to tag you because you've got quite a new channel and I really want to support you in your new venture of starting your channel, and I've been really enjoying watching your videos recently. So Amelia, you're tagged. I'd also like to tag Top Note by A. So I've been watching Top Note by A for a couple of weeks now and I've been really enjoying her videos as well, so I'd like to tag her as well. So if you enjoyed this video, then please do press the like button and please also consider subscribing as well. And also please let me know, which is your most nostalgic fragrance? Which fragrance would you choose as your signature fragrance? And thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!